Hello class, today we'll be looking at a basic economic problem of every society. When we talk about basic economic problem of every society, we are looking at the problems which every country encounters in the course of solving economic problems. Uh, the basic economic problem, of course, starts with what to produce. And what to produce is as a result of scarcity. A country or a firm we start asking the questions of what to produce when they have a lot of items to produce, but they have limited resources to produce them. A firm might have an idea of producing soap, have an idea of producing cream, have an idea of producing a pencil, ink, and all of that, but the firm doesn't have all the resources takes to produce all of these items at the same time. So it's expected of the firm to look at which one should I produce. The same thing goes to government. Government, we want to provide road, we want to provide school, we want to provide a healthcare service and all of that. But no government has all the money to produce everything at the same time. That is why they also ask the question what you produce. So the question of what to produce is as a result of scarcity. That's the point. Question of what to produce, whether by the government or by the firm, is as a result of what? Scarcity of resources, which can be labor, money, machine, and all of that. So when they find a way of knowing what to produce, they settle with one item to produce, whether government or firm. Then the next thing for them is to also face the challenge of how to produce these identified items. That is the second economic problem, which is what after the what to produce, we have how to produce. So how to produce, it concerns with the techniques of production. And these techniques of production, please take note that techniques of production has to do with should we use labor or capital. It means that techniques of production is into two. We have labor intensive and capital intensive. Labor intensive is when you are using more of workers, more of laborers than machine. Don't forget, you cannot focus on just, you cannot use only one aspect. For instance, now you cannot just say you want to produce now and use only laborers. You must use some machine. It could be simple machine. And if you want to produce now, you cannot say you are going to use all machines all through. You still have to use some laborers. Do you understand? So it means that you have to use both labor and machine in the course of production. But the concept of how to produce this with which one are we using more? So that is how to produce. How to produce is a question on which techniques of production are we using more. Are we using labor more, or we are using capital, we are using machine more? So labor intensive is when you use more of laborer than machine in your production. While capital intensive is when you are using more machines than laborers in your production. I think that is clear. Then the next one is for whom to produce. For whom to produce, now a question of whom are we producing for? Who are the final users of this the commodity we are producing? Do you understand? So when it comes to governments now, government, this will be determined by the system of government practice in the country. So if we are looking at a capitalist now, capitalist, we have the question of for whom to produce. Then this will be determined by the level of income of the consumers. So they can decide to produce for the lower income earners or higher income earners or average income earners. But when it is government will look at who are those that vote for us during the election. Okay, which area are we getting more votes, or which area are we getting more income? So that is one of those things government looks at to determine for whom to produce. So for whom to produce basically is on the users of the item produced. Thank you.